Chair.
The mic is on. Good morning, honorable members. Let me take this opportunity to greet and welcome the Speaker of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, the Honorable Morakani, the Deputy Chairperson of Chairpersons, the Chairperson of Chairpersons, please, my apologies, Honorable Dalton Adams, the Deputy Chairperson of Chairpersons, the Honorable Tulani Kunene, the MEC of Education, Sports and Arts and Culture, the Honorable MEC Matume Chilwani, the delegates of the 2022 Youth Sector Parliament. With my greetings, allow me to also ask that we use this moment to observe a moment of silence and meditation. Thank you very much. Before we proceed, can we please, the males, can they please take off their hats? Let us sing the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I don't think I did myself justice. Maybe I must also introduce myself. My name is Eni Ramokwase. I am the Speaker of the Youth Sector Parliament. Now, getting straight into the program of the day, allow me to welcome the Honorable Tulani Kunene, who is the Deputy Chairperson of Committees, to give us a welcome address.
Good morning. Mela. Okay. I will start with first declaring this. I, Tulani Kunene, as the Deputy Chairperson of Committees, hereby declares Maru being Cradle of Humankind conferencing facilities in the Mogale City local municipality as the precinct of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature in terms of Rule 59 of the Standing Rules of the Gauteng Legislature. Version 5, Revision 1, read together with Section 2, Subsection 1, and Section 28 of the Powers and Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislature Act number 4 of 2004. The precincts of provincial legislatures are described as follows. The precincts of Parliament is the area of land and every building or part of a building under the Parliament's control, including the chambers in which the proceedings of the houses are conducted, and the galleries and the lobbies of the chamber. Every part of the building in which the chambers are situated, every forecourt, yard, garden, and enclosure, committee rooms, and other meeting places provided or used primarily for Parliament's purposes. Every other building or part of a building provided or used in connection with the proceedings of Parliament while so used. For the duration of this meeting, this place will be the precinct of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Thus, the standing rules of the legislature will apply and govern all engagements of the city. Honorable Speaker of the Youth Parliament, Honorable Speaker of the Gauteng Legislature, Morakani Musupie, Chairperson of Committees, Honorable Dalton Adams, members of the Provincial Legislature present here today, MEC for Education and Sports, Honorable Matume Chilwane, the IEC, Acting Secretary of the Legislature, honorable members of the Youth Parliament. Good morning. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to this important Youth Parliament feedback session. It is encouraging to be in a room filled with young people who care deeply about the direction of our country. This gathering marks a crucial step in our collective journey to deepen democracy and empower young people. Today we come together to reflect and chart a way forward based on the experiences shared during the Youth Parliament. The Youth Parliament is not just a symbolic event. It is a platform where ideas are born, where genuine conversations take place, and where the energy of youth meets the responsibility of leadership. It is a platform through which young people voice their concerns, share innovative ideas, and hold leadership accountable. It reflects our commitment to ensuring that the aspirations of our youth are heard, respected, and translated into meaningful action. Today's feedback session is a continuation of that journey, a chance to reflect on what worked, what challenged us, and how can we grow this platform into something even stronger. As we receive feedback today, let us approach it with open minds and a shared determination to do better for our communities and the future we all hope to build. We are here to listen, we are here to learn, and we are here to work with you, our partners, in building a more inclusive and responsive democracy. Your participation is a testament to your commitment to shaping the future of Gauteng. We applaud your courage, your passion, and your willingness to engage. I wish you all a productive session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tulani, for the warm welcome. It's so hard being tall. I must bend. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, it is the purpose of this session, which will be delivered by the Honorable Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, the Honorable Murakani Musupui.
It's also a challenge being short, so it cuts both ways. Dumelang, Program Director and also fellow Speaker of the Youth Parliament, thank you very much for the opportunity, Honorable Eni Ramokwase. Allow me then to acknowledge Honorable Tulani Kunene, Deputy Chair of Committees, Honorable Matume Chilwani, MEC for Education, Honorable Dalton Adams, Chairperson of Committees, Honorable members of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, the Independent Electoral Commission representatives that are here with us today, yourselves, young leaders and delegates from across Gauteng, our stakeholders, partners and guests. Dumelang gape. So today is more than a feedback session. It is a moment of reflection, a beacon of accountability, and an affirmation of the belief that young people are the beating heart of our democracy. We are here to account for the promises and commitments we made in the 2022 Youth Sector Parliament, to openly review the progress we've made together with yourselves, to acknowledge where we can do better, and to chart a path forward together. We are here to engage, to listen to your questions, learn from your lived realities, and invite your ideas and insights. This is your space to raise your voice and to help shape the decisions and policies that will define the future of Gauteng. Most of all, we are here to inspire action and partnership, to deepen the role of young people in building a Gauteng that is inclusive, a Gauteng that is resilient, a Gauteng that is hopeful. You are not just leaders of tomorrow, you are leaders of today. You have the ideas, the passion, and the energy to transform this province. And it is our duty to stand beside you as you do so. Today, let us rise to the challenge together, knowing that every voice, every contribution, and every dream shared can help build the Gauteng we deserve, the Gauteng that you deserve. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Madam Speaker, and I wish you a truly inspiring and impactful session. Once again, happy Youth Month, happy productive Youth Month. Ke a leboga, may speak.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving us the purpose of the session. Honorable members, we started very late and we are going to try to rush to the main part of the agenda. With this being said, I am going to invite to the podium the IEC to give us a brief presentation on the importance of voting. Me Ntombi Tahudi from the IEC.
Thank you, Speaker of the Youth Parliament, and allow me to stand on the protocols that have been created. Okay, am I audible? Okay, all right. Let me again thank the Speaker of the Youth Parliament and appreciate the opportunity that I've been given as the representative of the IEC. And also allow me to stand on the protocols that have already been created. My name is Ntombi Tahudi, and thank you for for saying my surname correctly. Most of the people are struggling, Speaker. So I'm Ntombi Tahudi, I'm the representative of the Electoral Commission within the Western region, and I'm the Regional Outreach Officer. My duty basically is to ensure that civic education happens, so the AIEC does, because there is that debate to say, does IEC conduct civic education, voter education, and democracy education? So today I'm confirming that the IEC does conduct voter education continuously. Most of the time people will ask, what does the IEC do? Okay. Most of the time, communities will ask, what does the IE do when there are no elections? So that's the work we do. We consult with communities at large by ensuring that civic education is continuous, voter education and balloting education also is continuous. So having said that, allow me also to make a disclaimer to say we are not a political party. Most of the time when we want to talk to especially young people, we don't struggle with the elderly, your middle-aged, but the young people. So we are not a political party. When we engage with you, just know that we are not representing any political party. All registered political parties are the friends to the IEC. Hence, we engage all registered political parties. So we were established by the Chapter 9 of the Constitution of South Africa. And basically, the institutions that you find at Chapter 9 of the Republic of South Africa is to ensure that we uphold or protect the democracy that we have. As the IEC, we are basically focusing on electoral democracy. So that's the work we do, and we ensure that the environment is being created that promotes free and fair elections and declaring those elections. So that's our duty, over and above conducting civic education. And having indicated that we uphold the electoral democracy, allow me also to say, as the IEC, we say the elections lie at the heart of democracy. I believe, as we are seated here, we know that we are a democratic country. So in a democratic country, the elections form a heart of those elections, as well as of the processes, as well as effective and inclusive participation of all citizens, which includes youth. And when we look at our voters' roll, the large number on the voters' roll is our elderly. So we are missing the youth on the voters' roll. Hence, we always appreciate GPL giving us the opportunity to engage with young people, just to promote the issue of registration. And I can see on the program it is said we must talk to the importance of registration. And I'll get to that. And we also need to take the cognizance that the issue of representation in terms of who represents you as young people, I'm not going because I'm talking to young people. Like this is, the Honorable Morakane has said it to say Youth Month. So I'm talking to youth, I'm not going to refer to add myself because I can't pension. So as young people seated here, you need to ask yourself who's representing you. What issues are they discussing when they are making decisions? Are those issues impacting on you or not? Or are they relevant to the context of today? And also what we have observed as the Electoral Commission, young people start to disengage. As I said, our voters' roll is missing young people. So it means young people are starting to disengage, and the research says to us it's because they've lost trust to some of the processes that we have, the democratic processes. However, as the IEC are saying, if you disengage, you are disempowering yourself. And as it has been said, why is it important that you participate? As the Commission will say, we understand that young people want to be heard and they want to be listened to, not just to be managed. So as you want to be heard and be listened to, we are saying elections are also a process for one to be heard and ensure that your voice counts. Look, through elections, you are given an opportunity and a privilege to exercise your right to vote. Because each and every 5 years, again, we normally say, you've got your power in your hands, and voting is part of that power. Because every 5 years, you are given an opportunity to review if things are still going according to plan. Currently, we are working towards 2026 local government elections, I hope you know. and the work has started within the IEC. All stakeholders that need to participate has done that. MDB is currently doing consultations in terms of the ward boundaries, and the IEC will be starting with the boundaries in terms of voting districts. So everyone is taking part there. And the MECs and Minister of COGTA have also established the formula for councillors that needs to be voted for next day. And this is where I'm going to speak to the importance of registration. To say, if you don't register, there's an impact in terms of the number of wards that are established within our municipalities. I'll make an example with Mirafo. Currently, Mirafo may lose 3 wards because the voters' roll has went down. They're seated at 96,000 registered voters. So it means if the wards goes down, the wards will also decrease as well as the PR. And this impacts on the budget. Okay? You know, when MDB is doing consultations, that voters. So it is important as you live here to go and share this information with your counterparts, the youth, to say, let us register in large numbers as young people so that we don't get these impacts that are happening in other municipalities. Okay, so that's your homework moving out of here from today. Now, why is it important that you as young people vote? As I conclude, you need to shape the future of this country, because if you don't participate by voting, it means other people will take decisions on your behalf. You need to ensure that you address youth issues. If you have youth representation, be it local municipalities, because we are working towards 2026 local government elections, it means if you have young people representing you there, the issues of young people in that particular municipality will be taken care of. Because they'll be talking to your needs as young people. Your needs are not the same as my needs. And also, it ensures that you hold leaders accountable. Also, it breaks the cycle of apathy. Like we normally say, young people don't vote. So if you vote, you break that cycle. Low voter turnout often leads to political neglect and young people's needs. The more the youth participate, the more political parties are forced to take your issues to heart. And also, as you participate as young people, you'll be, as you know, we are a democratic country, as I've earlier indicated. And also, your voice as young people matter. So what we are saying, we say every vote counts, and elections can be decided by a small number. Look, we don't say on the voters roll 10% must go and vote. The Constitution doesn't say that, legislation doesn't say that. Whoever voted, their vote will ensure that we are governed. Hence, we are saying a very small margin can decide on your behalf. So one vote, especially when combined with millions of others, can make a difference between remaining stagnant or having progress in our lives. So as I concluded, let us go out there in masses. And also currently in the IEC, we are conducting consultation sessions in terms of e-voting. I'm not sure how many of you have heard there was a conference on e-voting. So we are coming to the public to engage with different categories in the public. Also, you can get access to the policy document that speaks to e-voting, where you can make inputs and you can send your contributions or your comments to elections. Let me correct that. To evoting@elections.co.gov. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. You send to evoting@elections.org.za. Am I correct? I'm correct. Ne? Elections. elections.gov.za. Okay, you send your inputs there. So get that policy document on our website, www.elections.org.za. That's where we are. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Ms. Takhudi. I like that you also touched on the young voters. Ngoba singena khona vele, we have a commission that actually speaks on participatory democracy, that has done extensive research on why young people are not participating in voting, they're not participating in elections. And we have the Honorable Chairperson, S.G. Gichela, who is going to give us a brief executive summary on that particular commission. And I really hope that in your programs moving forward, young people are here with their resolutions or their solutions, and I really hope that you will listen to her attentively and maybe take into consideration when you're having your programs, when you do your outreach programs to young people and encouraging them to vote. So with that being said, Honorable Chikijela, we are going to give it to you to give us an executive summary by the Commission on participatory democracy and the importance of young people participating in politics and voting. Your time will be 10 minutes.
Speak only. So many ndizawuhlala apha. It's not comfortable though. Good morning, young people. Sanbonani. Goeiemôre. Dumelang. Okay, I don't have enough time. To the young people within the precinct, honorable speakers, MEC, and the members of the legislature, thank you so much. I'm the chairperson for Commission 1. We are talking democratic participation as the first commission. Honorable Speaker, inclusive political participation is not only a fundamental political and democratic right, but is crucial into building stable, peaceful societies and developing policies that respond to the specific needs of future generations. For young people to be adequately represented in political institutions, processes, and decision-making, they must know their rights and be given the necessary knowledge and capacity to participate in a meaningful way at all the levels of our government. That is your national, your provincial, and your local government. I'm going to mention only 6 obstacles that create or that hinder us as young people that we cannot participate in this democratic participation. Number 1 is lack of transparency. If I may just quickly do that, go back here. Let's start with a lack of adequate information. The state of politics in South Africa has changed. And as we have welcomed the new 7th administration on the 30th of June 2024, the government of national unity that has been agreed upon by 11 political parties represented in the National Assembly, it means the state of politics has changed. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Chapter 2 says, we have a right to access to information. Everyone has a right to access to any information that another person has and is required for the exercise of protection of any right. In this case, we're talking about the right to vote and make better decisions with full and proper knowledge. Now, access to information. Umanga voter as young people. The names of the head of state, the name of the head of the province, and our local councillors, those candidate names, must your vote, we already know them. Utsmang your vote, I know the president might be this person, or might that be that person, or might be this person. We know that. However, Bantabasha, when it comes to our ministers, when it comes to the appointment of members of parliament, the members of the provincial legislature, asbaz labo bantu. we are given those people to come and govern us. This is lack of information, which then, that is in the Constitution, the right to access to information. Now, let's go to lack of transparency. That is issue number 2. I said, MECs and ministers and all these people are being given to us. They have been experienced, their skills be published on public platforms so that what qualifications and skills they have for them to be sitting there and be leading us and deciding on policies that has to do with us as young people and also as people of South Africa. So after the appointment, Honorable Speaker, that information to be published. I guess must apply for qualification, skills, none. We give it to them. So now, not just look at their qualifications. Thank you. We as young people, this is just from our commission to say, if we are going to have a next feedback session, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, Deputy, sorry, and Chair of Chairs, apologies. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for that. As young people, we would like statistics. What do I mean by statistics? So in our provincial governments, internship akona, how many young people have been absorbed permanently by the departments? Because you get an internship today. I'm an example of that. I get an internship today. Now I'm not qualified to get an internship. Now I'm a permanent post. I'm not even getting employment. So now we need statistics to say how many young people participated in the internships and how many were absorbed in our provincial governments. We also need statistics, but my fellow commission will emphasize on this. It is benefited 4 minutes. Let's talk about politics. To participate in a hostile environment like this. How do you expect us to do that? Now, as the commission, we have proposed that. Now, as the commission, we have proposed that. We, as the sector parliament, inclusion with the office of the premier, including the office of the entire legislature, we wish to petition the National Assembly that we look into this section 11 and we add a clause that will bring back capital punishment. We're talking death penalty. We cannot be living people that are proud to call themselves Inkabi. We cannot be, every day there's a body lying somewhere in our communities. Abantu, they are being slaughtered. We cannot live with murderers of that nature slaughtering people. No. So we want to petition that capital punishment must come back. As I conclude, Bantabash. As I conclude, Bantabash, we have policies and regulations and law that are also a part that hinders us from participating. What do I mean by this? The Constitution of South Africa, it gives a president only 2-year, 5 terms to be a president. Angeke asabuya, for example, Honorable President Ramaphosa for the 3rd term because the Constitution ayivumi. Now we are saying, Magubena the same limitation in terms of the ministers, the members of parliament, and the members of the provincial legislature. We cannot have ministers that are sitting there for 20 years. When a person is not performing, they're reshuffling them. No! What we are saying is that there must be a succession plan for us to participate in political activities. There must be a succession plan. If you perform, you go up. If you don't perform, you move out. IEC talked about local elections. Let me tell you, we have 2,241 local parties that have registered. Do we need all these 2,241 parties? For what? For what? Now we are saying, as young people in Commission 1, before a party can register, at least they must have a 1% threshold of the voters that are in the voters' roll. If they don't have those people, then they represent Abobani. Honorable Speaker, sekame ngeenyawo. Ngicela ukukhuluma le Honorable Speaker kancane and then ngihlale phansi visibility. We had President Cyril Ramaphosa coming to Ward 41 in Roundabout 2024 last year. Now you would think ukuthi ubaba is going to be bringing groceries. I mean, ubaba, you know, he's going to be bringing groceries in the house. But let me tell you, Dololo, President didn't bring nothing in Ward 41 last year in 2024. Now, okay, fine, maybe Malayiko, ubaba kakholanga, it's okay. Now you would think the President would look into the IDP of our community to say, why Roundabout, which is the first project RDP houses, is still at this state. He didn't even look into that. Dolala. You know? Fine, you leave that. Okay, maybe Katele cannot go into reading and things like that. It's okay. The President, Honorable Ndate Ramaphosa, on a foundation, he could have picked 2 people. Or would he let me empower them through my foundation? Dololo. But Gay is not the only one. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah. I think we can safely say that the feedback session has started. Honorable Jikijela, thank you very much for that presentation of Commission 1. We are swiftly going to move to the second commission, which is chaired by the Honorable Zweli Dingamqati. I don't see him. Oh, Honorable Zweli. Honorable Zweli will be giving us an executive summary on the commission of the role of the SMMEs in addressing youth unemployment. 100%.
Good morning to the House. All protocol observed. I'm trying to save time. I believe that we were very enthusiastic coming into this commission because we believe it's one of the things that can definitely change the status quo of South Africans, at least, especially the youth. But now, when we are looking into our report and how we were workshopped into structuring it, it was very narrow.
Honorable members on my left-hand side, can you please settle down? And can we give Honorable Zweli the respect that he deserves in this House?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I had noted that when we came the previous time, we were very enthusiastic about this commission. Unfortunately, now looking into it, we are realizing that in its approach, it was very narrow, and it does not allow us to discuss on things that can actually change the status quo of South African young people as we speak. The burden that has been put on SMMEs in alleviating unemployment is almost unrealistic in this current administration. We have about 100 before. Let me just update the House on the current statistics of young people in the country. Thank you. The total youth that is in the country between the ages of 15 and 34 is around 21 million. And the total population estimated is around 63 million. That should tell you that we account for about 33.333% of the country's population. And in this 33.33 recurring country's population, 46% of the very same young people between 15 to 35 who can actually contribute it is almost unrealistic. If all the 100 million that is put for SMMEs is only set up for only startups, right? And it looks into the 46% of the youth that is unemployed. With the startups, maybe a good scenario, all of them having 5 employees. We are speaking about 25,000 young people who would be employed. And only, this means that only 0.0025% would have been absorbed through the budget of the SMMEs in terms of startups. Well, one of the things that we noted is that our country is highly regulated. In administrating a country, you go through a whole lot of regulations. And to a large extent, the more regulations, the more corruption. There's no way forward with that. I would mention a few. The taxation laws with the Income Tax Act, the Value Added Tax, Customs Excise Tax Administration, these are also not speaking in the favor of young people. How is VAT also the same to young people when young people are under such burdens of unemployment? We speak to the trade and industry policies, International Trade Administration Act, Manufacturing Development Act, SEZ Act, Industrial Development Cooperation Act of 1940. It is still an infant in addressing the issues of our current democracy. We speak about the Competition Act. Monopolies have been created. Most of young SMMEs that come up, they fall because big business are able to take advantage in monopolizing industries so that they can capture their companies. Economic empowerment, the Black BBBE Act, as is reviewed, should incline to young people having more participation in their economy, especially as I'm mentioning this specific the population of young people, the net communication, those who are not in education, in training, or in employment, which is the 46% that we are speaking to. And you cannot speak about the BEE Act without speaking to Employment Equity Skills Development Act, the Skills Development Levy, and Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act. We had requested that because we know it has been done before, either in women's sector parliament or people living with disability, in those sector parliaments, that 100% of their procurement is able to be given to specifically that sector. And this is what we had requested in coming into this meeting, and we were not respected because they if you really want to change the situation, you will take young people seriously. We looked into the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act. We need its proclamation as soon as possible. This is something that can radicalize township economies, especially SMMEs. That's exactly what it is speaking to, including the Local Systems Act, because that's what builds the framework for how SMMEs are to function policy-wise within our local governments. Now, in the many policies that we have, one that I cannot leave behind is the Land Expropriation Act, right? You cannot speak about economic emancipation without radically and robustly having reforms that will literally look into the land and its ownership. See now, Section 25, we were very happy with the President with addressing Section 25. It is a very challenging topic, but definitely things, well, the history or injustices of the past need to be redressed, because we are in communities where even in your home you can't even use your garage because there's no security that your parent owns the house. This is even going outside to say there's land that could be expropriated. We are saying that even the land that we are living in now, I'm a 99-year lease, right? I'm a 100-year lease that are not helping us in securing that you can do a business here for your generation, the next coming generation, and the future generation without you being evicted. Kwamele sihlale sibheka ama-red ends ukuthi sizotoyitoyanini. Land expropriation should be also focused as well as in the residential areas to ensure that those that are benefiting from these lease agreements are removed, because as I cannot go much in depth, and I'm sure that Honorable Bones, who did honor us, respect us in our youth sector parliament, has robustly gone into policies that the legislature will implement into the Land Expropriation Act. Right? We want to be young people who can say that we are proud that there is land that we can use. Right? This must be a conversation. What are you going to do with your land? This must be the conversation among young people, you know. And it's not everyone who may want to be a farmer, who may want to be in mining, right? But also that land can also be used. That land can also be used for a fund for young people to say, if this land they won't use, it becomes part of a youth fund that can then establish a fund that will emancipate young people with SMMEs, because 100 million is in fact 100 million is not necessarily for youth SMMEs, it's just for SMMEs. So maybe only 40% of that will get, only maybe 40% youth-led SMMEs will get that. We look into the Minerals Act. My apologies, Speaker. I'll wrap up in a few. We look into the Minerals Act. The affirmation is seeking to literally address or put the obligation on the state to say you will be the ones that ensure that the youth, the future generation, becomes the ones that benefit from the mineral and petroleum resource development. It literally says that we will the government reserves the government has the obligation to protect the environment for future generations. It's an affirmation that we are also in support of and need its application robustly, its implementation robustly. And the last thing, Speaker, debt, the debt of our country. We have not spoken to this because, you see, in COVID-19, as an example, we are not sure how much of the debt that we received have we paid back. This makes it almost difficult for young people to even own houses, to even attract foreign investment, for us to even pay back the debt itself. And there's a resolution, right, with SMMEs. Through you, Speaker, please. SEZ Act needs to focus in, it needs to be implemented through common law and not civil law. Civil law is a top-down approach, and that is not working for us. Look at the free market. Common law is what needs to be implemented from the bottom going up in terms of what kind of rules need to speak to how we relate to each other. We need a free market, bottom-up approach. Yabo.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Mqati. Thank you very much, honorable members. ACRQF, ASNAMAN, ASNA procurement, ASNANTO. The struggle continues. Thank you very much, Honorable Mqati. MEC, singena kuwe ke ngoku. Chairperson, Honorable Donald Mukwanazi, please give us the executive summary on the Commission of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation Facilities. Ungamateki kakhulu MEC. MEC akasilalela. Mana, let's wait for the MEC to give us his attention for qala. MEC le yakho lena. Has a chance to give his presentation.
You know, there's something called the platform. As a young person, you must utilize platform when you're afforded one. Good day, young people of Gauteng, honorable members of this sectoral parliament, to our guests, the MEC, all protocols observed. My name is Donald Mukwanazi. In fact, let me just show respect. My name is Donald Mukwanazi, and I'm a member of this sectoral parliament and the chairperson of this commission that speaks directly to Honorable MEC. And the reason why people maybe will think I'm crazy by wearing this, or maybe I'm a Q marshal somewhere. I'm not. As I'm wearing this reflector, it's reflective of all young people of Gauteng. It's reflective of Etabiso, who's unemployed, but is matric somewhere in Fosloras. It's reflective of a Lerato who succumbed to drugs in Seshego, in Soshangove. It's reflective of a Ian from Bryston, who did not have facilities to tap into his talent of sports. As I'm wearing this reflector, that's why I'm wearing this reflector. You know, youth that is organized is very powerful. When you afford a platform, you must speak your voices. By the time you wake up, the platform will be gone. You'll be 50 years. The things that were promised as young people are still not delivered. I know all the tricks, everything. Let me see. By all odds, this is a powerful platform. We've been fighting for this platform to be protected. In fact, and the Gamotep. Young people want such a platform to raise their issues and everything. That's all they want, young people. Personally, I battle platform to raise our issues. You know what I will do, ne? I will task the MEC and whoever is here to read on the reports. I won't go through what has been written and given to them. I don't have time to go through the report again. I don't abuse platform in a bad way. I utilize platform. So I'll just go through just 4 things. Number 1. It is combined in Gauteng. You know, growing up, we used to have a sports tournament, go Skolong. Who is at home is going through a lot, and Skolo, but instead of them refreshing their minds through sports, who's talented, got sports. So as this commission was saying that, can Department of Education and ensure that these facilities are there for young kids in schools, so that we can grow the next Relewile Mufokeng from a school in Soweto, not a school in Sandton. Number 2, facilities. You know, there's a stadium in Heidelberg. It's been many years, it's built, but it's not being opened. Lord knows why. Amaketa Kiwe, millions were spent there, and it's not that one only. It's many stadiums, by the way, that they MEC. In Heidelberg, by the way. Millions are spent on facilities, but facilities are not opened. In fact, they even rust. What are we saying? What are we saying? Gauteng, we are Gauteng, by the way. We're not just some province, we're Gauteng. What are we saying? Gauteng has the capability to build state art facilities of sports, arts and culture. They are built, but they are locked. I don't know if maybe they want to have another tender of opening the stadium again. I don't know. So another example, I think it was a school of arts or something in Val. It's next to a hall. I'm not sure. There's a vandalized school of arts or what? Something there in Val. I'm not sure what's the name. How do you vandalize? How do you let the community vandalize such an important asset that can transform and change the lives of people in a community? How do you let that happen? How do you let such a facility be left there to be occupied by our very own siblings, our siblings? How do you let that happen? As this commission was saying that, can these facilities be revisited? Even if from tomorrow, that the MEC, you have to go and sit down, call an emergency meeting and say, which facilities we have, which are vandalized, can we go and fix them? Let that be the case. If you don't have money, go and fix what you have, then build more. That's what we're asking for is this commission. More facilities. Why must a school in Bryston have sports day because they have facilities? Then a school in Sharpeville is unable to tap into that because there's no investment. Why? Why must black people be subjected to such nonsense? Why? So we are saying that as this commission that facilities, investment in facilities. Number 3, we used to have community youth arts and culture organizations, of which changed so many lives in our communities. By the way, I'm here I am today because of I used to do arts growing up. I used to be taught respect. I used to, all those things. But today those things are no longer there. NLC can't Chelsea is a guy because I know that National Lottery what is funding such things. Where is this man going? Where is the department? What is the department funding? In fact, when we can't see these organizations anymore. These organizations are powerful. They have a role to play in society. They change your mind. Young people today don't even respect old people. They just talk because they're able to talk, they have rights. We're saying that, go back to the drawing board, fund these organizations. Don't fund ghost organizations. Fund organizations that will come and change our societies. These foundations have a role to play. We're saying that, fund these organizations. They have a role to play. Number 4, there's something called Amapiano. Amapiano is something that's growing and is taking over. It has taken over. Why is the department not tapping into that? We have so many young talented people in Gauteng who make music, Amapiano. Why can't we tap into that? Why can't we evolve with the times? Why must we do the same thing each and every year, even though it's irregular? Why? There's Amapiano, there's TikTok. We must have a province that is a different thing, after all. As this commission was saying that, tap into the Amapiano sector. Do competitions, do summits about those. Be creative, man. Be creative. If you are unable to do benchmark corona in this youth parliament, we'll tell you how to do it. I said it the other day. If you told benchmark, we have the ideas. We are the young people. We are representing other young people. Come and ask. Hubota doesn't even cost anything. Because the only problem we have with the old guard, they think that when you convene us here and then we'll demand money from you. That's the number 1 problem that these people have. Tina just funa nje ukuthetha nani phela. Which is what we're doing. So it's 4 things at this commission. Inclusive of what is written in the report. As this commission was asking you, go and read the report. It's clear. And more are coming. We are writers and we are young people. And as I'm closing, I just want to say that young people of Gauteng, you are the future. And if you are going to misuse platform, this province is slowly becoming something else. You'll regret it. You will regret it. Sports, arts, and culture must come back in Gauteng. We must have rising stars again. Right now, what I'm seeing, we are miserable as young people. We are depressed. I don't know what's happening. So, as I'm concluding, and that the MEC and all speaker, this platform, Lead Protect. You know, I've been fighting for this platform, for this youth sector for 3 years. I'm part of those people who are fighting. And we've never asked for money. We just said we want this platform only. That's all we want. We're asking that. With respect. We want to engage. We are representing all regions of Gauteng. This is young people. This is Gauteng. This is not some Sidibeng only. No. This is Gauteng. After here, we're going to report to our constituencies. You are very powerful as you are here. You're addressing the whole of Gauteng, young people, the future. Don't take that lightly. Even you, young people, my people, don't come here and be disrespectful. That's what I'm asking for. We fought hard for this thing. You will not reduce it to nothing. We know why we are here. We're not here to shine on TV. I've been on TV, I don't know for many times. Please, that's what I'm asking. I know I have many things to say, by the way. Many things. But I'm being selective. Because as a leader, you must know when to speak and know when to keep quiet. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mukwanazi. You know, when you started your presentation, you spoke about something about young people not having access and resorting to drugs, resorting to other activities. You see, as tall as I am, I used to be a basketball and netball player. But because after school, there were no facilities for me to continue playing. It was a blessing that we became activists, that we were able to speak, we were able to raise issues, and that is why we find ourselves here. But not everyone is as fortunate. Many of our peers, someone I went to primary school with, you come across them, you know, but today, Kichi's boy, you know, they had everything, but because talent today which brings us to the next commission that speaks about the effect of youth unemployment on mental health. As a span, we are saying this as a span. As the invoice, as the RQF, as the procure, you know? And so many young people today are so depressed because of this. So many young people are resorting to crime, they are resorting to criminal activities, substance abuse, because abaspan. And not because they don't have the qualifications, or they don't have the skills. It's because imnyangwe ivaliwe, oh my apologies. Imnyangwe ivaliwe. As told ispan, gatekeeping, must be handled by someone somewhere so that we can get employment. Can't be about that. Can't be business as usual. Today is a Wednesday. There's so many young people seated here. Young people that are supposed to be running businesses, young people that are supposed to be at work. But because a span were available for these programs, Honorable Speaker, not that we don't want to be here, we definitely want to be here. It should have been on a Saturday, you understand, really off. After Saturday, Sunday, we go to church, go back to work. But because on a Wednesday we are available to be here, it should say something. Should say something, but why are young people so available? Why little so come? I'm not span. Depressed. That's it. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome the chairperson of Commission 4, the Honorable Sindani, to give us an executive summary on the Commission of the effect of youth unemployment on mental health. Where the mics? Honorable Osborne, you are rising on a point of order.
Thank you
the
very
first of
much,
the day.
Honorable Speaker. We traveled all the way here for a feedback session, for the executive to listen, for us to listen to the executive and the executive to listen to us. But now the executive is not here. Yes, I can see the Honorable Speaker is here, but the MEC is not here. The Deputy Chair of Committees is not here. Therefore, I propose we are not going to proceed until they come back to listen to us. Noma kunzima, noma kubuhlungu, Yesu, chaya loveke.
No, thank you very much, honorable members. I think, let me apologize. The Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs was actually conducting an interview outside. The Honorable MEC had to answer a call. But now they are back. Honorable Sindani, you may proceed.
Good morning. Salutations to the House at large, to the executive members of government, the dignitaries that are here, and to young people at large. First things first, we'd like to say we are grateful as the young people of Gauteng for this opportunity that we are afforded by the dignitaries and respective executive of the Gauteng Legislature and the different stakeholders of government to give us, number one, to listen to us, and secondly, to afford us an opportunity to engage them upon the certain resolutions that we took in 2022 and for this particular feedback session. It has been a long time coming. It's been more than 3 years, but we are grateful for this particular opportunity and some of the resolutions that were taken when we were preparing for this sitting, when the executive said that this will become a culture whereby we would work together as the executive, will work together with the department, with the Gauteng Provincial Legislature to ensure that some of the resolutions that we took are implemented. So now we are proud of the fact that through their word, through their proclamations, that this is not another talk show, but it is an opportunity to work together with the state to ensure that we are able to implement some of the resolutions that we believe are key, vital, and significant to being able to alleviate some of the challenges or the plethora of challenges that we are confronted with as young people throughout the province of Gauteng. My topic that I was given, it is unemployment and how it affects our mental health. What is unemployment? Various literature reviews shows that being mentally healthy does not just mean that you do not have mental problems. If you are in a good mental health, you can play a full part in your family, workplace, community, and be among friends. One, mental health encompasses emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It influences cognition, perception, and behavior. Mental health also determines how an individual handles stress, interpersonal relationships, and decision-making. What is unemployment? According to various literature, unemployment occurs when a person who is actively searching for employment is unable to find work. Unemployment is often used as a measure of the health of the economy. 3, it is acknowledged that unemployment causes stress, which ultimately has a long-term physiological health effect and can have negative consequences on people's mental health, including depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. 4, how is it known? However, it is not known how unemployment has affected and affecting young people in Gauteng. It is therefore the purpose of this discussion document to unearth the effects of unemployment on mental health. Part of the key factors that we know that contribute to the stagnation of young people being absorbed into the mainstream economy is the fact that we've got a very poor education system. And within the world that we currently live in, we live in a very advanced education system that goes beyond agriculture, that goes beyond industrialization, that's service-based, knowledge-based, and now it is integrated with artificial intelligence. So what does this mean? It means the world is moving forward while our country and our young people are being left behind. So the question in terms of providing a proper exegesis in terms of unemployment, in terms of the impact of our education system is seen through the various metric results that we have. I'll just provide a couple of statistics. Number one, for 2028, the metric pass rate was 81%. For 2019, it was 78%. For 2020, it was 72%. And then the quick question that we have to ask ourselves is that looks from a surface level as a progressive education system. But if you take an exegesis or look beyond the actual metric result and actually look at the potency or how the true reflection of the metric results, we'll be able to see that there is a huge discorrelation between the purported results and the actual impact and potency of our education system. How are we able to determine that? In 2018, we saw that less than 35% of young people got a bachelor's degree. In 2019, 34% got a bachelor's degree. In 2022, 33% got a bachelor's degree pass. Young people and the executive at large, the question then needs to become, what does this mean? It means that over 65% of young people do not qualify to go to university. Over 65% of young people do not qualify to go to university. What does that mean? It means that our mainstream economy, which is service-based, in other words, there's a certain pockets of skills that you need to possess in order for you to be able to, number one, not get a job. I feel that it is an insult for us to say we want jobs. A lot of people have jobs, but do those jobs add dignity of life to us? Do those jobs add respectability to us? Do those jobs as young men, because we know for a fact from a historical perspective that the foundation of every society is within its ability of its men, number one, to be able to provide for their families, to be able to provide for their kids. If you are a man and you cannot provide for your family, you cannot call yourself a man. One of the key tenets that were done by the colonial forces was to ensure that they emasculated our men. How did they emasculate our men? They took their land. In taking their land, our men could not provide for their children. They could not also protect their families. So you became a man, but a shadow of who and what God destined you to become. You do not have any form of respectability within society. Your wife could not call you a man because you could not provide for your family. Your children could not call you their father within the true sense of what the word means because you could not protect and provide for your family. So we are simply saying as young people that we need our government to engage in a protected program that will ensure that they are, number one, able to reverse the injustices of the past. Those injustices of the past will be able to give us what? Dignity. Will be able to give us what? Self-respect. Will be able to give us self-worth, and will be able to ensure that the goals of black consciousness are realized, which is the reclaiming of our humanity as black people. With that being said, I do not believe in simply speaking about problems, because many a times there are various commissions that write about problems that we are confronted with. We are solution-orientated. Solution-orientated, that says there are blueprints, models that have been demonstrated to work. We cannot have a situation that people that are not of South African descent are doing better than us in our own economy. We cannot have a situation whereby we were suffering from white domination and white oppression, and within our own townships we are suffering from non-African domination of our economy. We cannot demand to be We cannot demand to be emancipated and included within our economy, but we are content, we are happy, and we are not doing anything by the mere fact that our food, our basic provisions are not provided by people that look like me and you. It is a collective insult to our collective intelligence. It is a collective insult to whoever. It is a collective insult to the blood that was shed by young people in 1976. It is a collective insult for the black warriors that died for us so that we might be emancipated. What's the point of getting political emancipation if we are economically subjugated within our own economy? We are simply saying, we know for a fact that government has problems when it comes to working as an organized unit. When we speak sophisticated and complex political jargon, we say that we are oppressed by the system. But the question then becomes, what is a system? A system, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, this is my definition. It is a group of institutions. It is a group of different institutions working together to achieve a common objective. Number one, we've got the Department of Education. We've got various departments, like for example, the previous speaker spoke about the dilapidation of sports facilities within schools, the dilapidation of sports facilities within our respective communities. The sports department and the education department are supposed to work together in order to be able to what? To provide proper sporting facilities, not only for school children, but for the entire community. Those are different institutions working together to achieve what? A common objective. Are we indeed oppressed by the system? Or are we indeed oppressed by the maladministration of governmental systems? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say, we've got amazing black entrepreneurs that actually said that they can provide solutions to the problems that we are facing. Number one, DJ Spoo provided a blueprint of how we can make it within this particular economy. We are asking for government to partner with young people that have a proven track record to be able to alleviate what? Poverty. To be able to what? To solve the complex problems that are faced by what? By young people. I myself am an entrepreneur. I'm involved in 3 businesses, you know. But here's the thing. In order for us to be able, Vusite Megwa speaks about a very potent point when it comes to business. In order for us to be able to scale, we need resources, we need expertise, and we need what? Governmental support. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say China, Vietnam, India, and various Asian powerhouses have proven that through direct governmental involvement, societal problems can be solved. China and India now are currently embroiled. China and India are currently embroiled within a geopolitical campaign. A geopolitical campaign that says that which country is more viable in terms of being a place whereby American and Western companies can what? Invest in. So I'm saying, as opposed to our governmental officials only seeking foreign direct investment, let them partner with local entrepreneurs that have proven beyond any reasonable doubt that they've got the pedigree, they've got the love, they've got the passion to actually alleviate the dilapidating and despicable conditions that we continue to be embroiled in as black people. Steve Biko, Marcus Garvey said to be black is not a badge of shame, but it is a badge of honor. But being black will continue to be a badge of shame until our economic conditions are changed. Governmental officials, we give you this particular mandate to actually be the agents of change that we've been praying for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sindani. Abasha bathi bacela nama dictionary sham isilungu sakho. Honorable members, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable MEC Matume Chilwani, who is the MEC of Education, Sports and Arts and Culture in the province of Gauteng, to give us a feedback on the 2022 Youth Sector Parliament resolutions. MEC.
Ke a leboha. Ke a leboha. Ke a leboha. Nna ke rata ela sena mali. No, sharp. Sharp. Amanda. Amanda. Asina data. Asina procurement. Okay, levels. Sanbonan. Dumelang. Molweni. Abshin. Dimacheruni. Karale Shaw. Nda. Good morning. Thank you so much, the Speaker of the Youth Sector Parliament, also the, I'll not use, let me just say MC. The honorable members that are here from the legislature led by the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature of Gauteng, together with the Chair of Chairs and the Deputy Chair of Chairs, honorable MECs that have come forward. Am I correct? Yes, MECs. I see myself at younger age. And all the members of this Provincial Youth Sector Parliament. Youth of Gauteng. It is my honor to truly address you today at this session of the Youth Sector Parliament of Gauteng. Let me firstly apologize, submit an apology of the Premier, who was scheduled to come here. But as you know, developments preceded him, and then he had requested me to come and represent him today at this sector parliament. But rest assured, speaking to me, you've spoken to the Premier. Definitely. So don't worry. As we convene here in Gauteng, the economic powerhouse of our nation, we must confront a stark reality. Our province faces a crisis of youth unemployment that threatens to undermine the very foundation of our prosperity. While as a province, Gauteng, we contribute 35% of South Africa's GDP and remains the destination of choice for millions seeking opportunity, too many of our young people remain locked out of meaningful economic participation. This gathering is not and shouldn't be a box-ticking or ceremonial exercise. It is rather urgent. We must explore every avenue, every innovation, every partnership that can unlock economic potential of Gauteng's youth. In this moment of reckoning, I'm compelled to recall the prophetic words of a former liberation icon, Moses Kotane, who in 1968 challenged a generation of young South Africans with these rather powerful words. He said, open quote, "At this hour of destiny, your country and your people need you. The future of South Africa is in your hands, and it will be what you make out of it." Let us bring Kotane's challenge into our Gauteng context. Today, I pose these critical questions to you, the youth of our province. Do Moses Kotane's words still resonate with your generation? As Gauteng's young leaders, can our province, indeed, our nation, depend on you to transform our economic landscape? With youth unemployment ravaging our communities, will you rise to become the architects of inclusive prosperity? More importantly, what will you make of the opportunities that lie before us in this city of gold? These are not rhetorical questions. Your answers will determine whether Gauteng remains Africa's economic hub or becomes a cautionary tale of squandered potential. Speaker of the Youth Sector Parliament, Africa is blessed with the world's youngest population, and South Africa is no exception. Yet, despite our abundant natural resources and human potential, our continent has been left behind in global development. This paradox demands our urgent attention. Consider this sobering comparison. In the 1950s, many might not know, South Korean leaders traveled from South Korea to Ghana to study their development model because Ghana's per capita income exceeded that of South Korea. Today, South Korea stands amongst the world's economic leaders, while Ghana and many African nations continue to struggle. Korea's transformation was no miracle. It was a result of a deliberate state-led industrialization, innovation, and relentless focus on human development, achieved despite governance challenges. Africa's underdevelopment stems from the complex legacy of colonialism, post-colonial misrule, and neo-colonial trade relationships that keep us trapped as exporters of raw materials. 60 years after independence, Africa's natural resources continue to enrich others while leaving our people behind. But there's also another side to Africa's story, one of resilience, determination, and hope. It's a story of people who work tirelessly to change their circumstances, of governments and civil society organizations investing in human development to improve education and health outcomes. You, the youth of our province, Gauteng, are writing the next chapter of this story. Youth development in Gauteng operates within the framework of the National Youth Policy 2020 to 2030, which is supported by the province's own strategic documents. We have what we call the Gauteng Integrated Youth Development Strategy, which operationalizes policy through specific interventions. The Gauteng Medium-Term Development Plan, which is a 2024 to 2029, is our definitive roadmap for measurable results. The Integrated Youth Development Strategy is built on 5 strategic pillars designed to holistically address youth development needs across all governments, departments, and entities. These pillars are: the first pillar is our approach to youth development. Pillar 1, what the last speaker was speaking about, quality education, skills, and second chances. And he was very strong, says we provide poor education. I like to believe you come from public education as well. And if you are so good, public education has developed you. So if you, unless you are saying, oh, you are an exception. So I was just saying that public education is good. It does have challenges, but in terms of what it is very good. I can defend it anywhere. In fact, I've always been saying that we need to test private independent examination board and the National Senior Certificate. And I know for a fact that children from our township schools will mesmerize them in private schools. I can tell you that. And I'm confident of it. Last year we were the top learner in the whole of Gauteng province, coming from a school in Kwatema, a public school, a no-fee paying school. So I have no doubt in our public education. So we believe every young person deserves an opportunity to learn and grow. And I want to touch on a few of our achievements. Public education is operating on 740 high schools in this province, and we've got 1,759 primary schools, which supports almost 3 million, just above 3 million learners, and annually we are sitting at over 130,000 matriculants who sit to write their final examination, which empowering around 170 youth through education, skills development, and apprenticeship. We also further cumulatively award over 17,000 bursaries from across all our departments. We're also training over 720 youth through arts and culture program. But further to respond as well, you spoke about the type of, you spoke about 4IR rather. You said the teachers are not teaching children around 4IR, artificial intelligence. I'm happy to report to you. That in our schools today, what we have started to do, we've got two things. We've got what we call reorganizations of schools. The first pillar, we've got a pillar of what we call schools of specialization. These schools are 36 in the province. They target particular skills, maths, science, IT. One, we've got the sports schools. We've got 4 schools that focus on sports, arts, culture. We've got schools that focus on manufacturing and engineering. I'm sure I heard you, I think you're from Ekurhuleni because you're speaking about Rondebelt. I'm sure you know Gauteng School of Specialization. If you've been to that school, you would have seen that school. It's a smart school. It's in the township, no fee, nothing. In fact, what is special about it, that school does not even have a bell. Those learners know when it's break. Those learners know when break is done. There's no bell that needs to be rung to remind them that break is over. The level of discipline and commitment from those learners. So we've got that school of specialization, which we have maritime, and they're focused based on where they are. In Tshwane, we've got Soshanguve, we've got Ribani Laka, we just recently opened, which Ford have given them 2 brand new Ford Rangers to go and learn how to build it, fix the engine, do all the automotive work on it. So that is the schools of specialization, responding to the skills need. And further, we have what we call multi-certification. So in every grade, we're giving kids different additional skills. From grade R and grade 1 and grade 2, we're doing what we call this robotics, codings and robotics, as well as swimming. And they vary up to grade 12. So that is in response to the future skills need of our province. The second pillar is economic transformation, entrepreneurship, and job creation. We have invested 6.8 billion in youth-owned businesses since 2022. That cumulatively creating over 54,000 jobs in youth. There's youth jobs in our government administration. We supported 32,782 beneficiaries through our expanded public works program. These are youth, and launched the GEP Youth Accelerator Program, as well as employed or created an opportunity for 1,025 young entrepreneurs through our various interventions. And I agree with you, this is a drop in the ocean, considering the challenges that are faced by young people. But I thought we should just give you feedback in terms of how far we've come from the period that we last met. On physical, mental health, which is our third pillar, our health initiatives have achieved the following. We have screened over 1.3 million young people for HIV and AIDS. We are currently providing ARV treatment to 301,000 young people. When we say condomize, we literally mean condomize. We have reached 1.2 million. I'm still giving you feedback. Let's go. We're providing ARVs. Don't worry. You live. We've got you covered. We have reached 1.2 million young people through our Kimoja drug prevention program. We have distributed over almost 2 million dignity packs, and we have provided psychosocial support to 130,000 youth beneficiaries. The fourth pillar, which is social cohesion and nation building. This one, we're building unified communities that require active citizenship. We have engaged 23,929 youth in arts and creative programs. We have involved 36,090 youth in sports activities. We have supported 42,966 youth enterprises in creative industries. And we have facilitated 30 social cohesion dialogues annually. And we have mobilized 107,000 youth in various programs. And I agree that the issue of sports facilities in schools and in the community is important. But you also have a responsibility to protect it from being vandalized. You can't say, here's a hall, they've built it. We open a ribbon, we cut it, there's a plaque. After 2 weeks, it's vandalized. And some even take videos, post it on TikTok, and say, yeah, I know, laptop. That laptop is supposed to serve young people. It's supposed to serve you, and you as you grow older, it must also serve your children. Because youth is a strata. Very soon you will not be youth. Okay? So it's important to not allow criminals to vandalize the public infrastructures that must save us. The stadiums, the community halls, the schools. The schools. There's a school, as we're speaking about the Val, Smarts, Deputy Chair of Chairs. Smarts. That school has got boarding facilities. There are people who are lining up private partnership that want to take over, rebuild those boarding facilities, and invest so that it becomes a sports school. But at the rate that people are just being allowed to come in and vandalize that school, it will become too expensive for anyone to really come and invest in that particular school. So it's important that you protect your own facilities, and young people must fight against crime, because crime is a problem. Obviously, you need to work with the police. The last pillar, Pillar 5, effective and responsive youth development machinery. The Gauteng Youth Advisory Panel, which was appointed on 16 June 2022, has completed its term on March 30th, 2024. The Premier will soon announce a new advisory panel. And from this advisory panel, there will be quarterly intergovernmental youth forums. There will be regular reporting to the National Youth Machinery, and there will be a continuous alignment with national youth development priorities. So the Youth Advisory Panel will be announced soon by the Premier. Our collective commitment moving forward together. The number of shared represents more than statistics. They represent dreams realized, potential unlocked, and futures transformed. But our work is far from complete. As Gauteng Provincial Government, we pledge to continue working with all sectors of society to address the challenges facing our youth. We cannot achieve the ambitious goals of the Gauteng Integrated Youth Development Strategy alone. Success requires partnership, collaboration, and the active participation of every young person in this room. The Korea-Ghana comparison I shared earlier teaches us that transformation is possible, but it requires collective will, strategic thinking, and sustained action. We are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you are the change makers of today. Young people of Gauteng, you stand at the intersection of history and possibility. Behind you lies the wisdom of those who fought for our freedom. Before you lies the opportunity to build the South Africa of our dreams. Around you are the tools, resources, and support systems we've built together. The question is whether you can change South Africa. The question is how quickly you'll do it. Your province is investing in you because we believe in your potential. Now it is time for you to believe in yourselves and in each other. Let us work together to ensure that young people remain at the center of development and economic transformation. Let us write a new chapter in African story, where our youth lead the continent to prosperity, innovation, and inclusive growth. The future of this province and this country and Africa itself rests on your capable hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable members, I am going to open up for 5 hands, so 1 hand per region. I was given already Ekurhuleni, Honorable Osborne, Johannesburg, Honorable Bongani Kochani, Tshwane, Honorable Prince Ngapa, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Western, Honorable Offense. Tenike Ngoku. Awa. Awa Sunna. Sidibe. Oh, Honorable Portia. EP Mike, can we start with, Honorable Osborne from Ekurhuleni.
Ndiyabulela speaker. Mandithathe le thuba Bingelele, the Honorable MEC, Omisi Matume Chilwane. Siyabulela man, MEC for the feedback. But I must say that as young people of Gauteng, we are not happy at all. We are not happy at all, and we are not only just disgruntled, but we are sitting here, and not only are we have resigned to a state of hopelessness, siyaniva niyathetha but asiniva. And the reason why I'm saying this, MEC, I'm going to start here. We requested that the Youth Sector Parliament of 2025 feedback session must have 100% youth procurement. We requested that. The Deputy Chair of Committees, last week Sunday, made a promise that young people will get 100% procurement when it comes to transportation. Now let me tell you one thing that we have noted. When we requested 100% youth procurement, they took us to a venue of the capitalist. And they told us that the food and everything will be insourced, which further disadvantages young people. Why take us to a venue that you know that the catering of that venue will be done by those particular individuals, where we've got young people that are owning such services in the township? Are we really saying that a young person cannot make this thing? Is that really what we are saying as the executive? We are complete. We are completely disgruntled as young people. Not only that, Deputy Chair of Committees, when you said 100% transport will be that of young people, we were only told yesterday morning that it is short notice. It will never happen. That is a promise you gave us when? On Sunday. Which means what? It means you did not go and tell those that are in SCM or whoever that is responsible to say we are in an abnormal situation, therefore we are going to implement abnormal measures. So it means as young people we are not taken serious. We are nothing but just pawns of talk shows. The leadership will come and tell us that this is what we have done for young people, this is what we are still here to do for young people. But practically, we don't see those things. We are here, we are hungry. We are only asking for one thing. Rekopadi RFQs. And you know, when we were told that we are coming here, we thought, no, we are going to eat fancy food of hotels. Cheese. These are things that can be done by young people. But in future, leaders, I know that Honorable Mkwanazi requested that we address the leadership with respect. And trust me, this is my utmost respectful nature. The honorable members of the East Sector Parliament, they know I can tend to be worse than this. But I'm very much respectful. Honorable Speaker, that in Gauteng Province, never host anything for young people without young people. And when we say without young people, we are not only just tools to come and listen. Allow us to, but I will tell you one thing, you are tired. If you can go on a race, you will lose. We respect the wisdom that
greetings, House at large. Honorable MEC, we are always blue-ticking us. In the previous sector parliament, the Premier said he will come, he will never come. In the office of the Premier, there is 7 youth commissions. We want you to recognize youth sector parliament as part of those helped approve and manage. You are too managed as young people. Honorable Speaker, we also submitted something to your department. I think it was that previous MEC Mbali. One building that is hijacked. They just give us one building. You put those who want to do podcast, there's podcast equipment. Those who want to do a radio, there's radio equipment. Those who want to do film, there's film there. Those who want to do just give us those vandalized buildings. Back later, I wanted to buy a Golf 8. They approved me same day. What does that tell you? They want to give you anything that has liability so that they can come and take it. Remember, when that car is goes out, it's insured. But all we are saying is this, government, come on, guys. If there's, you cannot fund everyone. You can never fund it. Of BRICS Development Bank, why are you utilizing it? Because the capitalists are telling you that to not recognize China. Let's look at China, for instance. Let's look at China, for instance. They are managing a population of 1.6 billion people. With just a mere population of 68 million people. What's our problem? What's our problem, guys? A mere population of 68 million people. Come on, guys. Because let's look at Qatar, 40 years back. Look at it now. Look at Saudi Arabia, 50 years back. Look at it now. Look at South Africa, 50 years ago. Look at it now. The problem. There's no problem about cadet deployment. The only problem about cadet deployment, you have a tendency of deploying clowns in strategic positions. You are simply deploying clowns. And as much as I appreciate education, sometimes educated people tend to go there and fail to implement. Sifuna umuntu onesibindi. Mangabe nifuna thina soyigadela umzila, sizohamba soyigadela umzila thina. Sizohamba soyigadela umzila. Government can never fail. And another thing, this thing of a lot of political parties, I've seen it in Johannesburg. Everyone is there for their party. Everyone is there for this one. If this one is doing this one, also you say, okay, I must also. That's why they're changing MECs currently. Whenever there's no consistency, there's no persistence. You must remember that. So guys, we are really failing us. And we are here saying, MEC again, Kumbola, Smanga, Ntlengetu. He wrote a book of grateful learners. It's kept approved. Why are you not adopting? My name is
Honorable Portia from Citibank.
Greetings, honorable members in the House, and all protocols observed in terms of dignitaries in our midst. As introduced, my name is Honorable Portia Nkomo from Citibank Region, Ward 16. Elijah Barai. I was listening as MEC Matume Chilwane was speaking, and I just had clarity on, he mentioned something about an integrative development strategy. In terms of that, I need clarity on the role of the youth desk from the province, the designations from the different portfolios, accessibility, visibility, functionality, and what have they done? And then, secondly, what concrete steps have been taken through those various departments of the youth desk to ensure equitable access to economic opportunities such as enterprise development? For example, somebody mentioned the digital economy. He took his words back. But I just want to tell you the power of confidence within our people to protect even our young people. I'm not scared of anything. I tell people my ability to fear compared to the general population is very inhibited. In terms of the integrative strategy mentioned, how are you ensuring the youth desk in local integrative strategy mentioned? How are you ensuring the youth desk in local municipalities?
When we have registered onto a database, nothing is being done today. And then also, I'd like to also touch on another one. Any any delegation from Mohale City, not to even mention Gabonan Deputy Usutile. I don't think it. Who forms part of it? Public participation or consultation of young people. Young people also. I'd like to touch on a very important one that we have. Sector Parliament. Terms of Gauteng Provincial Legislature, will formalize and give formal recognition to this structure. Young people, we are sitting on databases.
Asi-invoice.
Let me take this opportunity. You stood in front of us and then you told us that Korean transformation, how it was achieved, 16 years achieved, 16 years of all suffering and all that. To such an extent that when we come with these types of speeches, which was Youth Parliament in Cape Town. And when I became part of this structure, it was by accident. I was not meant to be there, but I got myself to be there. By mistake, I was there to take a bus, but I heard noise inside. And the time president was Tabombek. So I got inside, I was just excited to see the president. Then I found myself there. And when I found myself there, I said, can I be given an opportunity to speak? Those that were there, they said, no, I can't speak. I'm not invited. I said, but I've got things that are burning within me that I want to address. They said, no, this is for us. A similar occurrence, a similar thing occurred not so long ago. When I came to sector parliament, I was told the same thing. That no, those are ours. Those are ours within. Those are ours within. No. Those are ours within. But MEC.
Honorable Prince.
Okay.
Honorable
MEC,
members.
MEC.
Honorable members, can we settle down?
Wait, don't worry.
Honorable members,
Don't worry.
can we settle down?
MEC, let me pass
Honorable
that one.
Prince,
No, I'm
please
not gonna
wait for the
dwell on
House to
that.
settle down.
Yeah.
Honorable members,
I'm not going to dwell on that.
can we settle down?
I'm not going to dwell on that. MEC, when young people had challenges with NSFAS, the thing prolonged so much that they resorted to getting sugar daddies. That challenge goes beyond to them creating another challenge, which you know, it creates social ills. We call it social ills. But the challenge that are created by this government, they end up going to other challenges. Another thing, Amy, my fellow leader raised is that what forms part of this youth advisory panel? MEC, you cannot, most of the things are politicized nowadays. You have to be politically connected in order to get into spaces. You have to be connected to a particular cadre in order to get in. Our young people are in need. They're going to get out here having not had enough of how to penetrate these spaces. Because we don't give them a clear idea of how to get there. So MEC, if you're going to give us answers, I don't know whether it's going to be now or when, but whenever you're going to come and give us answers again, please come and draw them in a more relevant sense so that the young person can get out of here more motivated, more inspired, and equipped that now I'm going forward and I know what I'm going to do starting from now. Thank you so much. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member from Tshwane. I'm actually looking at the program, although we are a bit behind. This session was actually allocated 45 minutes. Follow-up question session on the feedback by the executive. Doing some opening up hands. One round that I'm going to do, I'm taking one hand per section. So we have, I'm going to the back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. But I'm going to ask that on this second round, can we just keep it straight to the point? Just make it less than a minute. I'm actually going to the back. We've been coming to the front. Now, the first section, the third hand. Honorable members, I said, this is by honorable offense there. It's the first section. The second section, the third, the fourth, that one will be the fifth. So the first hand will be the honorable member Lebu. Honorable member at the back, you will be number 2. Honorable Ramaphosa, number 3. Aye, kunenothetha tsho, ma'am. There's an honorable member. Honorable member, you'll be number 4 and you'll be number 5. In that order, thank you very much.
Greetings to the House, honorable members.
No, continue.
Greetings to the House, protocol observed. Honorable members, I have just simple questions from the MEC, and I just need support from the youth. Ne? It's very simple. We come from different regions and different areas. Some of us, we come from rural areas. People are talking of robotics, whilst now we don't even have Wi-Fi installations. We are not often considered, or are we just here just to follow up on people that are more advanced than us? What is going to happen to us? Are we just an additional to the country, or what's happening? This is just a simple question. I come from Sidibeng. Like, do they even visit? I come from small farm. When you just enter the area, you can just see there's high poverty rate. And we have I run an organization that is not funded. We use our own personal money that we do not have just to cook and offer meals to poor people. We do skills development to people that are not certified, just for little bit information that we can offer to the small farm people. Are we here just as an additional people from this country? Are we considered? I have anger, but I just don't want to express it. People of Sidibeng are angry. Can we kindly be considered, honorable members?
Honorable members, can we settle down? Honorable members, can we settle down, please?
Greetings, young people. Honoring all the protocols that are up front with the leadership of the province. Taking also cognizance that we have a gathering full of its house, that its majority and demographics are young people. MEC, we understand that this model, which in terms of studies on continuity and our proposals which we provide. For instance, if we say we want opportunities to employment, upon which sectors does the Gauteng economic development says, I have opportunities here and there and there. When we expect feedback, we want commitments. But binding statement, declaration, not a story like the president would declare and tell us about Tinyiko. Tintswalo, yeah, Tintswalo. So, yeah, I may be a Tinyiko in this case because I did not receive what Tintswalo was given. So we have that challenge. We ask you, MEC, that in part of involvement, as much as you have consulted us, now we are in a session of feedback. For us to see that we are involved, can you consider this issue of giving the youth sector parliament roles and powers? To what extent are we able to oversight the executive? To what extent are we able to liaise with the premier? Because now we are out of calendar. The state of the provincial address has been addressed. The budget has been declared. We are only involving ourselves because we understand that the constitution that is enshrined in South Africa requires that this process must be right. So we are a stakeholder coming to meet with you. And MEC, what we require is to have a year plan, a involvement consultative process whereby you also consider these registers which we feel here. When opportunities comes into legislature, internships they are coming, consider these registers because they show that we have an interest. But going into the pool of my political organization and look for a youth rep who is a youth leader and I bring them forth with people who do not come to these processes is an error. It's an error that we must leave when we say we want to take serious with public participation. I come from a mining town, Honorable MEC, and this is always an issue which I always advocate for. We have legislation that the minister signed, Minister Kotemantash. It was in 2018. I think the date was the 26th of September. It's called the Mining Charter. That mining charter has provisions of SLPs, social labor plans, whereby mines must provide to say, what is it that they are going to do? What we see with our mines is that they are not consultative in terms of what developments do we need. They just choose upon themselves to say, we are going to pen the road and we are going to supply it to your departments in DMRE to say, we have finished a tar road which was within these kilometers. But when you come to us for oversight, we are requesting for those duties. You have already accelerated to say you have technical schools in Gauteng which are providing services. But some of these technical schools, when you go to them, the components that are supposed to serve purpose are not working. I have a school in Rilebogile as a MEC of education. It had a sinkhole 4 years ago. I think you are familiar with it. To date, there's not been a response. It's an issue. How do I continue to participate into a government that is not responsive, that is not honest to its own commitment? Thank you.
We're moving this side. Honorable Ramaphosa, not the president.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Deputy Chair, morning, Speaker. It's afternoon.
Honorable Ramaphosa, you are not audible.
Can you hear me now? All right. Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, everyone. Just to make things short and simple. Today, I told myself that I don't want to speak. But Deputy Chair, Deputy Chair, we've got a recording of you probing us transport for today. It didn't happen. On Monday, I called in terms of the transport to check all the compliances of everything. The response that day was to say they will update us on what's happening. Even today, there's something about emergency RFQ. Even if it was 2 days or really late. Why is it that emergency RFQ was not used? Or today, this thing. You understand? So on that one, Deputy Chair, I would like to go on a feedback session which we are saying we are going to have. Can you please draft it in black and white? Sign that we are still going to have this feedback sessions because now these things the way they things like a mouth-to-mouth. I think we'll see each other foot maybe after 2 years. Can you please create a document that will state that we'll have this feedback session and on this other feedback session, the premier must be there. Reason being why I'm saying the premier must be there. We've got crime prevention wardens. MEC, we were the ones. Youth Year 2022, even in youth sector, in youth crime prevention task, we were the ones who were there to go and amend in the national constitutional youth crime prevention task. What happened there? CPFs were supposed to be people who are supposed to be prioritized for the thing, but today no. Who can the girlfriend? It's the official. Who can the boyfriend? It's the official. Go to El Dorado Park Police Station and check. 80% of the wardens there, which are working, are not history in safety. Anything in a safety structure. That thing is not fair. You spoke about young children, teaching them on fixing cars. Leadership, I'll tell you one thing. Our service provider today, he will tell you, now I know how to fix a car. The latest Mercedes-Benz, I can teach my children to do that thing. You know why? Because criminals come to me and ask me, so that thing is leading us young people who create a crime. Dikoloi tse di tswang le rona di tswa border gate di ya kae kae. It's us, the young people of here, go Gauteng. Re kgonang hore di khatse dikoloi tseo. Ba di nke ba di jumpise board. So we don't want that kind of a life. Can you please, a re bua ka development. A re qaleng mo. I'm still stating on that one. Yes, ya transport ke bona. Not my skill. I'm feeling yon. I know how to mechanic. Ke a qhaqa koloi. The insurance companies say right now, I just say, but we learn this plaza shops about. Runa, we want serious business. Then leadership. Last week, I was at a program. Go Orlando, which you are doing, presenting Tabata Sports. I said, please attend. Yes, I can see you here. You've spoken about positions in government. This one, I'm saying, that the 34 positions in the Gauteng Provincial Trip. Can please today, at least 15 or 20 young people from this sitting here, please give them contracts. Out of those 410 schools, which are going to create facilities, can at least this time, let's change things. 30% as young people. Can these things change right now to 60% of those schools, us as young people, will develop those facilities. In terms of relating the facilitators and people who are responsible for the leagues and everything, we are here. Prioritize the youth sector parliament first. They spoke about the youth panel. We don't know youth panel it's MEC, can you please, MEC. We need the premier because what we are saying to you won't respond to us. So we need relevant people. Right now, we need the mayor of Joburg. We've got a KPS project in our ward, which is building houses. As young people, we are fighting. Last time, everybody was intelligent there. But now we are coming for extortions and coming for what? We are not protected as young people. So even that KPEX project, and it's happening throughout all regions. So we need the mayors and the speakers of municipalities to be here. We spoke about memorandum of unity. You are not saying anything, Kayon. So I think this is not a feedback session. Because I can't hear anything which Elibuang. I never wanted to talk or disrespect anyone, but I feel like you're like disrespecting us as we are here. Thank you.
Can we have the next speaker?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, honorable members. Do you all hear me?
Please raise your voice.
Yeah. Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon, honorable members. Do you all hear me? Oh, yeah. Do you all hear me now? Okay, sorry. I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, yeah, I'm a bit nervous. But otherwise, my name is Kotatu Tubakadene. I'm from Mamelodi. So I came here to actually represent the innovative youth from Mamelodi. So what I'm trying to say is that we're not being seen as the youth of Mamelodi by means of what. When I was done with my matric, I opened up my own tutoring business. So because I saw a gap in the education system, especially for young people in my community. So what I wanted was actually to close that gap. But the thing is, I've been voicing out this type of thing of actually liberating more people actually in my community because of we're actually suffering from stuff like poverty, drug abuse, and stuff like that, you get me? But we are not actually being heard and we're not actually being seen. And also exposure of these type of events actually in our community are not being advertised more. Like right now, if ever I were to go to my community and actually ask someone about these type of events, they'll say they don't know because they even have more demands than I have about being supported in these type of issues, you get me? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Can we have the last row we picked?
MECs and greetings to Chair. No, it's Nyamamela man level. Everyone who raised the question. Not about the people who are sitting. People do want to get procurement, Sabasha. But there are things that we are not. One of the major isilungu Nkosi lesilungu. Yabona siyabaleka. Enye inkinga yenza ukuthi sibe ne high unemployment, high crime rates in our township. Ukuthi number one, I'm a young person and I'm active. Yabona? So if I'm gonna just put it bluntly, we are young people, siya express, siya explore. Yabona? If we are not doing anything by sitting at home, you don't understand the frustration. Utu ya pume kasi, you are wearing, I'm just making an example, ngicokama overall. Ngishiyu butwa mohlela elokishini, ongceli to run. What is it that we are saying about those? And then when it comes to education, I have a challenge with 30% MEC. 30% is making abantwana more comfortable. So I'm proposing also to the to education. Can we increase the percentage, the pass rate from 30% to at least 50%? Number two, can we introduce practicals, which means skills development? At China, they are teaching umntwana 5 how to manufacture a phone, but here at South Africa, they are teaching me about orange, teacher. How am I supposed to grow while you are teaching me that? You are supposed to teach me. You're supposed to teach me how to build a phone, how to be an engineer, how to be an architecture. At the age of 10, 11, how to be a lawyer, how to represent someone. I must go into a courtroom and say, I'm a lawyer, I'm going to stand. It's a practical, it's a lesson. And then when it comes to artists, I'm also an artist. I'm not as advertiser, sorry. So as artist, yes. Yes. So as I'm an artist in Gauteng, we are being neglected. Number one, there are big artists. I think if you can go Kasi to Kasi, by the way, my name is Samgelo Ndumo. From Ekuruleni, I come from Kwatema, where the top learner came from Ezimiselo Secondary School, in the very same school also. So what I'm saying, Oguti, when it comes to music, art and culture, us, abantu abayenza music, abantu abadrowayo, people who do poetry, people who do art, abanakekelwa. Mangathi ngiyabuza ukuthi how many theater that accommodates actors do we have in Gauteng? It's maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Why not we have theater in each and every township? When it comes to events such as this, call ukuthi man, don't you have an artist Gauteng maybe that we can use after the session? They perform for abantu abasha so that also nabo bazokwazi ukukhulisa ini iprofile labo. Ngaloko ngithi let us stop selling our businesses and help young people ukuthi baphumelele. Number 2, as Ispan, we need economic transformation now, not later. Thank you.
And we are very qualified, Honorable Osborne. Thank you very much for those questions and inputs, honorable members. Before I give to the MEC, I'm actually first going to allow the speaker, Arifafa, Chairs of Chairs, Deputy Chair of Chairs actually has an announcement that he's going to make and clarify something as well. And then we are going to hand over to the MEC. Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to respond to questions that were directed at the legislature. The rest, the MEC will respond to. So I want to start by a quotation or maybe a remark that was done by the second person who spoke. I didn't write your names, I was writing regions. Pardon me for that. Oh, okay. He spoke about the importance of protecting this platform, and I want to commit here that this platform will be protected. However, just hold on. However, protecting the platform means we will be working together with you because the platform is yours. It's not ours. We are only facilitating, and the work that we're doing, by the way, is legislated. We have to do it. The law enjoins us to do that, but it can only succeed if you also help us to protect it and you use it as you should. So the person who's got the responsibility of making things happen is the Deputy Chair of Chairs. As the executive authority, not in the executive sense, I have the responsibility as Speaker to make sure that we bring things together. So working with him and the other two presiding officers, I am assuring you here and now that this platform, your platform, will be protected. It also calls upon you to be tolerant of each other. Yes, Osborne, you have energy, but that energy must be directed properly for it to bring the benefits that you want. If the energy ya wa itse ke Motswana ne wa itse re mollo wa tlase o felletsa o suile a gona se se iragalang, so re batla mollo o ntseng pila o eleng gore o tla re fa mofuthu o re o batlang. So let me respond to your questions. Terms of reference, easiest thing, you deserve them, you should have them. I don't know why you don't have them. Simple, you must get them, and you will get them. The Deputy Chair of Chair is here. He will make sure that you have them. It's your platform. If you don't know what it's meant to achieve, what are you doing here? Why are you here? So, no, you must have the terms of reference. The Deputy Chair of Chair will make sure that you have them. There was also a request. I'm starting with the simple things and then Kitayako Osborne. Simple relative to what you were saying, not that they're useless. There was also a remark or a request that the youth sector parliament must be recognized by the Premier. I want to appreciate the fact that I was listening to all of you when you were presenting, and I want to commend you for putting work into what you were doing. I really am proud of you. So you are capable of also researching. So there's a principle of separation of powers. So I just want you to look at that and look at whether it's going to be possible to do what was suggested. I have the answer, I don't want to give it to you. You proved beyond any doubt that you have capacity to do research. So check and then give us feedback in terms of that, and let's find synergy in what you suggested. Tolerance I spoke about. Okay. Here's the point. I'm sure you can see that I'm shaking a little bit. It's out of anger. And, okay, let me not use other words. Part of what we have as a responsibility is to make sure that there's, in terms of procurement as well, there are targets for people with disability, there are targets for women, there are targets for young people. So what you were saying is correct, telling us that you were left out. It's wrong. It is wrong. And I want to assure you that we are going to follow up on it. And we, our legislature, it's our responsibility to make sure that we get answers on your behalf, also on behalf of the people of Gauteng. And Chair of Chairs, we will give them feedback on what happened here. He came to me, I give you the morning, he whispered in my ear that no, we can't be sitting in this gathering and be getting feedback, it's only what you gave with the energy that you gave. It's wrong. It is wrong. You're speaking about giving young people opportunities. And if we can't lead that as government, it's wrong. It is wrong. It's wrong. It is wrong. We'll give you feedback. You're saying we must never host anything for young people without young people. I agree with you. I agree with you. Over and above everything that you said, it is your platform. It's your platform. Why can't it be the first entry of benefiting you, not only in sharing ideas, but in making them practical as well? We will give you feedback of what's happened here. We will. We will give you feedback. We will give you feedback. We will give you feedback of what's happened, but we are also going to ask you that, offense, there's many of you, you must also agree to rotation. But you are entitled to information and proper information and true information. You agree to rotation, we will come back to you. These are the companies that you gave us that are compliant, that are on the database, and these are the people that have gotten the opportunities, and now we are going to rotate for a period of whatever. I'm sure you're aware of all of those laws. You spoke, yes, and that is information that you will get, assured. So it is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong, the future of Gauteng that you are treated this way. We will correct it. Ke a leboha.
And Ramorata Shom. Honorable members, allow me to welcome back to the podium the chairs.
We are not tired, ne? Okay. Even us who are older, we are not tired. But yeah, you're old and tired. Asikwas katalanga, yini ngasukile. We agreed on Sunday, those who were there, and for the benefit of those who are not here. That first I explained on Sunday that this venue is 100% owned by government. It's not a private. This venue is owned by government. It's owned by the Department of Economic Development. 100% owned. They provided catering as this venue. The transport issue, we were very clear that it must be given young people. And then I got some excuse, which I've briefed the speaker, that we're not happy with. We're going to call the Secretary of the Legislature and the CFO. They need to account, not only about this event only, because I have asked that we need to get a report on. As a politician in the legislature, I can't go and sit with officials and say, now Makamba and Kashan Law. We issue a political instruction that covers the broad policy. As the speaker has correctly indicated, there's a policy that we must give young people, women and disabled, people living with disabilities, a certain amount of contracts as a minimum. If that does not happen, we've got a duty to understand why. Why? So that if there's any wrongdoing, politically we can then be able to intervene and correct those wrong things. So we're going to take these things up. But secondly, we also agreed on Sunday, well, I did indicate on Sunday, and the speaker has just confirmed it, that we are going to, I was consulting with the speaker, Youth Sector Parliament speaker, that we are going to convene a smaller session in September to follow up on issues that has been raised, first in the reports and second today. Because our role as the legislature is to hold the executive accountable. That is the premier and all the MECs accountable. That is our role. We are a lawmaking structure as a legislature. We do oversight, which we do oversight over the government of Gauteng in all departments. So it means we hold the premier and his executive accountable on how they use government money or our money, because we are the people who are electing this government. All departments on a quarterly basis are required to report back on what have they spent their money on. How much of their money have they spent on young people? For example, on Friday, we will be co-eldos as the Economic Development Portfolio Committee. We'll have to, all the CEOs of economic development entities will be reporting back, just like they did in Nagwerliko Don Williams Hall, Kokatlehong, this past weekend. We're now going to, must also be invited as part of holding the executive accountable. So we've got your database, all of you here. So as Youth Parliament who are still serving until the end of your term, you must be invited to all these meetings, because the task of holding the executive accountable must happen all the time. And young people must be there, so that when you go to Eldos, it means the youth of Joburg must be part of young people who are going to be invited to that meeting. And not just, I'm saying Eldos because it's tomorrow, it's Friday. But we have these meetings, and I'm not talking about economic development only. I'm talking about all government departments and all the portfolio committees, because as the legislature, we hold these public meetings on a regular basis where we go with the departments. So what we do is that in a public meeting, we hold a department publicly accountable, and they must respond on what they spend money on as part of their reports. So they give us government or in legislature offices or legislature offices only. We go out to the public. So that's commitment that we have made Sunday, and I'm repeating it today. All meetings we are going to involve the youth parliament as it stands now. But also, we're going to go further. We're going to go further. I've asked the office that we must get, so that we increase the participation of young people in the democracy project. So that it's not necessarily only you are here only, but the more than 5 million young people of Gauteng, we must be in a position to engage with young people. Out of the 16 million residents or citizens of Gauteng, we must be able to engage with almost all of them in a meaningful, deeper way, which must include the young people of this province, so that we increase the participation that the first commission dealt with. So we are going to be doing that. We'll find methods, we'll find tools to increase participation of young people and the general population of Gauteng, so that it is not only limited to those who are privileged to hear and know about these meetings. That's one commitment that we have made. So the next session, which your executive, your presiding officers, under the leadership of the Youth Sector Parliament, we will likely meet with this session, with this small group. Then in March, just before we hold another Youth Parliament, because we have agreed that we are going to hold Youth Sector Parliaments in this particular format. 1 year is going to be the parliament, where young people make an input on what they want to see happening. The following year, it's a feedback. So we're going to hold them in that particular cycle. Parliament, feedback. But, it has said, on a quarterly basis, we're going to have smaller sessions with the leadership to give them regular updates. Because the last time you met was 2022. We're only meeting now. We met, I know that there's been sessions, including the session that I attended last week. So in March, a delegation is going to meet, in September, we'll meet a delegation. In March, it's going to be it may not be this big meeting, but at least 100 people in March, before the actual Youth Sector Parliament in June next year. So in March, we are going to be meeting at least 100 people, say 20 per region. We are going to give what I would call the last feedback based on the resolutions of 2022 today and up to March next year, so that we make this platform a living platform where you get to be engaged on a regular basis. The problems facing young people in this province and in this country will clearly not be resolved by one meeting. They need regular engagement, they need regular, robust engagement that we experience here today, so that we deal with these issues in a more meaningful, but in a more consistent manner. Obviously, it means in the next parliament, we will expand. So it's not going to necessarily be you only, because we've got more than 5 million young people in Gauteng. So the representation of young people who attend the youth sector parliament must go and be replenished. It can't be the same people over again, as if you're the only, as this group is the only one who are young people. So the sector, as the youth parliament, will be permanent. But angithi niyakhula. So it can't be you forever. Ngoba nani bazathi kusasa nikhathele yabona. Bazakudala nikhona senikhathele kuninila yabo. So yeah. So that's going to happen. That's the commitment that we are making, and we understand the issues that we have raised. Yeah, I think things cover zonke ezinye ezika MEC no Premier.
That
it will be legal. In the past, we were just saying we're going to do a set aside, but it was not illegal. There was no statutory support to that decision of saying 30%. Now it's enforceable by law that if there's a set aside, if we're saying 30%, that 30% now it's legal, it's incubated for that particular designated group. So from now on, when you say 30% for youth business, it literally means that money cannot be touched unless it's touched by youth companies. That bill was signed yesterday by the president of this country. So this, it's a step, a big step forward for young people's economic participation. And people living with disabilities. Secondly, the Youth Advisory Panel unfold. All right, it's going to unfold, and we've heard that Larry, you want a representative from this parliament to sit in that. Wait. The process will unfold. There will be a public call where young people or organizations will be able to sponsor names that should sit. It's not going to be an isolated process where there's an invite. People will be invited because of political connections. So it's going to be a public call, like the previous one. If you remember the previous one that was announced by the former premier, most of those people there, and at the time, my organization was fully in charge of this province. But I didn't even know them. So there's a process where the organizations, youth organizations will sponsor, even individuals themselves. You can even nominate yourself to sit in that particular youth advisory panel. So that process will unfold. What I'm going to ask from the premier is that the youth sector parliament said they want also to have a designated rep to sit in that advisory panel. So that can be done. It's not something that is difficult. So you will then sit down and nominate myself. So I know in terms of policies, I know the integrated strategy. I was there. In fact, we started what is called the youth unit in Ekurhuleni. We're the first people who went into that youth unit in Ekurhuleni. Actually, it was one of the first municipalities at the time. But when I was there, I remember that we used to do quite a number of programs. And the biggest issue at the time when I was there, dealing with youth development, was as much as it can be, as you are saying, you are saying that it's same rhetoric. We come here, I say the same thing, the next year another MEC might be here saying the same thing. To avoid that rhetoric, during that period, and it should be done now, and it's something that you can also form part of a broader resolution, that the aspect of youth participation needs to form part of a KPI, key performance indicator, for not only us politicians, but also head of administration, meaning HODs, municipal manager. If we assess them, we must say, part of your key performance score, KPI, 30% should be linked to you providing evidence that this is what young people achieved, were able to gain, whether it's procurement, whether it's absorption into positions of government, etc., etc. In that way, you have something to report, Speaker, when you come back, that these are indicators and these are the figures and this is what is being produced as a KPI. And also last, an advice, man. Yekela lento desk, man. You know, desk is an ngati niyakaga le itafula le. We really need to start giving it a more, really a practical, pragmatic word that will define its seriousness. It cannot be a youth desk in the municipality. Nami mina mawungitshela ukuthi itafula ngidlula kuphela ngiyabulisa man. Oh, itafula la youth sharp. Ngizabuya. Akusho it's a desk. I mean, it needs to, you need to amplify its importance because it's servicing the future. Remember, issues of young people, a matter of youth, is not a choice. It's not an option. You know, it's a reality that is faced by anyone who's leading any nation. That you make sure that you invest in the youth because that's your investment into the future, and they will also have to invest in the youth themselves because that's how it goes. You understand? So it can't be a test. You need to find a proper word when you argue it. Youth office, maybe so in terms of business opportunities, the procurement aspect, 30% is a minimum. It's a minimum. So you can be 100%. You know, it's like saying 50% is women. It's a minimum. It can be 100% women. It doesn't matter. But obviously it's a start. We need to have a target where we start these things. RFQs in Zwil and Kalangam RFQ. And Speaker of the Legislature. If there's anything I don't like, honestly, is these things of RFQs. But I hear you. RFQs are a problem. I can tell you that's the root of where we have problems in government. If you are going to speak about problems of corruption, you go RFQ. Nowhere else where you find a problem. In fact, recently, Speaker, there was an issue in the media last week. And what that we spent to support me. He says, no, the MEC, as if I know, Guti. I went there to paint, I know what was led. I'm not saying, I'm going to just, I'll just link you to somebody, then we can see the same, what happens. But it is important that young people must be organized. And it's not illegal for you to be organized to go to government and say, these are our companies that comply. Why are they not getting work? There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're organized, it's even better for us to work with. Look, the Premier is not blue-ticking this structure. No, it's not. If there's anybody who's got passion for youth, is that man. I know there's also this Spani, etc. Actually, okay, it's fine. You know, I want to tell you the story how Nasi Spani came about. I was with the Premier in China, trying to go and get investment. So, you know, come and invest because, you know, I'll explain the relation with China. That China is special, but also. So we're there. And we're getting the unemployment statistics from Statistics in General around Gauteng. And they were scary. Especially around youth, they were very scary. They are still scary. Because it's said in 2018 that there's a deliberate, for 3 years, no school. Here on the ground, you understand? Those are simple things, but the cultural orientation of the Chinese people has what most countries 20 years ago, and moving in those years. The infiltration at that point. And if you look at a waitress or a waiter, a conga, that person can make 25,000 a night. And if they work 2 nights, but those are jobs at that point. South Africans will say they are not for us. That includes the skills, the vocational aspect of it. Now, the biggest problem that we've experienced, Speaker and Deputy Chair of Chairs, is how we've been structuring our system, the education system, to produce. We've been gauging our success by access to universities. And you can't build a nation on people who have an HR degree. HR degree is good, but we don't need it now. We need a person who can build a TV. We need people who can build cars. We need people who can actually do practical manufacturing skills. That's the skills that we need. Can I tell you, Gauteng is the only province in this country that has a skills master plan. Nowhere else. They don't have in other provinces. We know that this is the skills master plan that we need to have for the future. That's why we have a program that we are starting. I know the Premier is going to start launching it now, where we'll be training over 100,000 young people. And these young people have already been recruited in last year, 2 years back, when there was a registration period. I remember that program, where you were going to schools to register that you want to form part of the broad skills development program. We are going to use that database, because that database has got more than 500,000 young people who have applied. So we're not going to reopen it again. We are going to start with that one. These youth, we are going to train them to have adequate skills to ensure that if there's a problem in a school, they come and fix the maintenance of the school. When there's a building, we get from those skills, they go and build. Hospitals, so roads, all our infrastructure needs. We're going to utilize those young people that will be training through that particular database to come and help us fix our own infrastructure problem. Gauteng has an infrastructure challenge. It's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity that we're going to grab so that we advance this skills revolution. So young people opportunities are going to be there. We're going to utilize you to fix our own infrastructure problems in all our provincial infrastructure. Like I said, I don't want to be long. The issue of job opportunities, we are very specific when we employ. Unless the position that is being advertised requires a certain minimum requirements, all jobs, there's a specific target that young people should be coming in. I, for one, am one who's very aggressive in ensuring that we get younger people in senior management. For me, as an MEC, in my departments, they know that I target young people and I'm specific. Because they just want to stay there until 65. But fortunately, if the contract is pay, like see him, And then I bring in young people. So that in terms of opportunities for young people, Gauteng government specifically targets young people in entry-level positions and all positions that are except for a key minimum requirement that particular skill is targeted for young people. And lastly as I conclude, the Premier went to China recently, a week ago, to a city called, is it Hanan or Hanoi? Hanoi or something, as the Chinese word. That city has got around 60 million people. That city says they have access, and hence access to something. As soon as businesses the same energy that you are saying, redirect it towards progressive development. Ngiyabonga.
Hey, yaphela. No, hey, yaphela. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you very much, MEC honorable members. Thank you very much, MEC Matomechani. Hey, yeah. Honorable members, we Mewaruna Me Morakani, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, in the 2022 Youth Sector Parliament, the last sector parliament that sat, the speaker was not there, although she was on the program. The former speaker, yes, in 2022. Although she was on the program, she didn't make it to the sitting. And there was no apology, even. We were graced by an MEC at that time, Honorable Osborne, I'm not going to call her by name. Honorable MEC Matomechilwani, personally, and I think I'm speaking on majority, on behalf of majority, it really means a lot that you were here from the beginning until the very end of the program. The commitment that you have towards youth development, towards young people, it's been shifted to the Premier. I wish that it was still there. Because you are the only MEC. We had requested for 4 MECs that were relevant to the commission. The other 3 MECs would have been here, but it is just yourself. Thank you very much. Ntate Thulani Kunene, re bana ba hao. Personally, I know you have a lot of kids, but today we're adding on that number. Arifita in that offices of the legislature, and the way we from 2022 we're still going to continue until we exit. And re tlo tla go kokota re kwatile, re tlo tla go kokota re thabile, re tlo tla go kokota re le frustrated, but re tlo fitla re tlo kokota. Le re leboa re tlo tla ntse re tlo kokota Ntate Thulani. Honorable members, I really want to thank you for the patience. Thank you for the discipline. Ha, Nina. No, thank you very much for the discipline. Members of Tiny, thank you so much. Can we actually give them a round of applause? So Zendi Moshe. Honorable members, thank you for the commitment that you have shown throughout, It's been 3 years of fighting. It's been 3 years of running around the legislature offices. It's been 3 years of fighting with Ntate Prince Kubeka, Butsoli. Hey, Dumsani. But we're still going to continue fighting you. Thank you so much for the patience. Thank you for being patient, and thank you for always being there. Now, honorable members, in as much as the Deputy Chair of Chairs would have stated that in September we are having the first of the 3 feedback sessions that we are going to have. We'll be having constant feedback from the executives. The MEC might not have addressed every single resolution, but we are allowing that in the 3 quarters or in the 3 feedback sessions that we are going to have after this, that we would have addressed all of the resolutions that we would have presented. And I think it's important that I ask the chairpersons of the different commissions, where we found fault in the reports, may we just kindly work on it and then resubmit, so that when we go back, we know exactly what it is that we are submitting to the legislature and to the executives. And then in the next session, we will know where we are, how far we've came, what still needs to be done. Like I think the MEC would have mentioned that we would need a KPI that will monitor the progress of these implementation of the resolutions. But I think one thing also, MEC and the executive, in instances where we say the resolutions can be turned into programs, the resolutions can be turned into working programs, young people must be part of the implementation of those resolutions. It can't be that we resolutions to the different departments or to the executive, and then we did not see them, we were not there. So, of those resolutions, may we please be involved, even if it's on a consultative basis, even if it is on an oversight basis. Please make sure that young people are included in those implementation processes. I think with that being said, honorable members, I am going to give to the Chair of Chairs. Chair of Chairs, thank you so much for being patient. You've been here, I think, before a lot of us, and you've been seated. Now it is your time. The Chair of Chairs will, in his closing remarks, also maybe respond to of the comments, questions, and inputs that were made, and then close the session on behalf of announcements. But I think let's give the Chair of Chairs, Ntate Dalton Adams.
Bopa. Aznavalo. I want to start by congratulating you for the 3 years that you have persevered, that you have fought, that you have continued, that you have come to this level and to this stage. Life is lived in levels and experienced in dimensions. God prepares or propels. God propels a prepared people into their purpose. I want to say to you today that you have come a long way and the future is bright for you. We have come here today as 3 presiding officers, the Honorable Speaker, and the Deputy Chair of Chairs and myself as Chair of Chairs, to show you the seriousness of how we take what you want to produce and give to us today with the resolutions that were taken and how serious we take it. I want to welcome the MEC also here today that have been with us. I want to say to you today, as the Youth Parliament, what is your value? What are you good for Gauteng? What is it that we as government, as an oversight mechanism in legislature can derive from you? And I want to answer the question to say that you are more worth than being EPWP workers. Secondly, I want to say you are more worth than 1 year contract or 2 contract year workers. Say you are more worth than a big businessman, laborers and subcontractors. You are more. I have come to tell you with the presiding officer in the M. If you have not discerned it in the 7th administration, there is a desire in us to see you excel, to see you become, to build born. We are here with wisdom. My coach was Tiki Koza. My captain needed to do. Hey, and our 900 to 1,000. They are saying we pleading with take our accommodation, we have no food, we have no toiletries. And I immediately took that plight to the Premier and to the this oversight mechanism in legislature is to for the voiceless, that you may know we're not sick. That's why we can take your resolutions, take your pain and translate it. That we can come here not to make promises, Deputy Chair, and this is your program, but to tell our youth, surely but definitely before your term is over, things will have changed because of this youth parliament. So allow me to say that the Gauteng government injects 14 billion rand into skills development and youth unemployment. But it's not finding expression where it needs to find expression. But let's leave the 14 billion. Let's talk about all the money. Let's look at the Gauteng legislature, for instance. Gauteng legislature, Honorable Speaker, we passed the budget, 178 billion, correct? Education, 67 billion. Health and wellness, 68 billion. Infrastructure development, sports, 1 billion. I can give you all the figures. I want you to do research. I'm giving you homework. I want you to listen to the budget reports that were given in legislature. What the MEC spoke about, Honorable Mahile. Investigate and interrogate it. There are opportunities hidden in there. The plans that departments have, there are opportunities hidden in there. It's because we don't read that we don't know what the opportunities are there for you. But there are opportunities for every one of you. Whether it be employment, whether it be programs, whether it be bursaries, whether it be events, whether it be procurement, whatever, it's in those budgets. Let me help you. If I can assist you to get it, I will get it to the parliament. Investigate it, interrogate it, underline it, make application. Are you with me today? It's your budget, by the way. It's not our budget. So as we close today's feedback session, we do not propose an idea, but we are here to reaffirm a promise already embodied by the Youth Parliament we have established, nurtured, and continue to invest in. Young people, these are not symbolic assemblies. They are critical arenas of voice and vision. And I want to underline voice and vision. We don't need money to go to the next level. We need vision to go to the next level. What are you envisioning? What is your vision for yourself? During courses in our young days, when I was still young and good looking, now I'm only looking. During courses days, Deputy Chair, there was a slogan, each one teach one. I want you to take a slogan, each one help one. You must be able, when you are empowered, to help others. So the vision is important. They are critical arenas of voice and vision. And they deserve not only to be maintained, as you have promised, Honorable Speaker, that this Parliament must be protected. We must make sure it does not fall through the cracks, and nobody must be an impediment to it. But it must be elevated, expanded, and deeply integrated into every level of governance. For through them, we do more than listen to the next generation. We follow your lead. So in this moment of profound global change, our duty is not to speak on behalf of the youth, but to create space for them to speak for themselves. Speak with conviction. Speak without fear. Speak without favor. Speak with courage and consequence. Let us be clear. This journey cannot be undertaken for youth. It must be led by youth. As I draw to a slow close, we must affirm a powerful truth that young people are not passive recipients of decisions made for them. Stop being apologetic. Start making your voice heard in the decorum that you did today. High discipline and high morale. You are co-active creators of the future. The Youth Parliament is a call not only for inclusion, but for ownership. Everybody say ownership. Because no transformation, listen carefully, no transformation is sustainable if those most affected are not at the center of driving it. When young people take ownership of their destinies, when they understand their power, develop their voices, and lead in their communities, entire societies shift. I want to declare the shift must happen today. There needs to be a shift. We move from protest to policy, from frustration to formulation, from silence to systems and system changes. I want to close with a poem. I have a lot to say. If you want my speech, I'll give it to you, because I can't finish it. I want to leave you with a poem. I think Honorable Deputy Chair of Chair said he didn't know that I was a poet. A poem. He didn't know I was a poet. Are you ready? I want to say we love you. We really honestly love you. And you cannot love unless you impart. You cannot love unless you empower. You cannot love unless you give. You cannot love unless you bless. But we are not blessers. You caught it. You caught it. So, in chambers bold, where voices rise, beneath our awakening skies, the youth have spoken, clear and strong, a rhythm fierce, a justice song. Not waiting at the door of power, they build with their hands this very hour. No echoes lost, no dreams dismissed, each resolution clenched in fist. The streets once heavy with despair, now pulse with purpose in the air. For every shout and silent tear, becomes the truth we choose to hear. And we, the ones who hold the rein, must answer more than praise or pain. We owe a promise, not just prose, to act, to build, to let it grow. Each voice a seed, each plant a tree, planted deep in democracy, and as they bloom, so shall we learn. The flame is theirs, it is their turn. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, of Chess. I know there are some that were actually tired, but right now, Chairman, you've awakened them. Young people are alive now. Honorable members, before we exit the venue, there are just a couple of announcements. Can we allow Soliwa Rona to just give us the announcements, and then we can move on to the next part.
Kumnandi kubalana. Nice to be here. Okay, few announcements. We are running out of time. Ne? We all members will remain seated while we allow the presiding officers and the chairperson to take photo shoot here at the center for 3 minutes. After that, we are going to allow them the procession to go to the holding room for lunch, and all members are going to floor 1. You will use the stairs down there. You are given 30 minutes to eat your lunch. At 3 o'clock, we are going to meet at the main entrance. We are going for excursion, and we are going to group ourselves in 50-50. We are running out of time. We need to finish by 4 o'clock. Is that clear? Yeah, remain seated, and then we'll allow the photo shoot. You'll come here, honorable members. Come this side. Come this side. So, okay. We don't have. The speaker with the chairperson.